Here's Brody Brazil.
Let's talk for just a second about deepfakes, which is crazy because even 2 years ago, I'm not sure I would have known what this is. But now it's important, and in the next couple years, it's going to be critical. And if you're not familiar with the terminology, let me just give you the definition here of deepfakes. It's synthetic media in which a person in an existing image or video is replaced with someone else's likeness. Essentially, it's modifying an existing clip to falsify identity with technology. You're showing people doing and saying things that they absolutely never did or never would. And therein lies the problem. It's so believable, it's getting so good, this technology, that chaos could potentially ensue. And let me get to a couple different points here that I want to make, beginning with number one. It's simply access to this technology. I mean, 5 years ago, only Hollywood movie studios had the ability to create something that looks so real that absolutely never happened. But now it's widespread. You can get this on an app for your iPhone. It's in the palm of everybody's hand. And yeah, you're seeing the potential for disasters here. Is what's real versus what's not. It's one thing if the technology's not good, you can instantly play it off. This very good technology is becoming very widespread. The access, the responsibility, it's all happening so fast, it's not exactly under control. And I do not believe at this point, with the very latest in deepfakes, I do not always believe that the common eye is well enough trained to identify what is and what is not a deepfake here in 2020. The other part of this that I do know is the problem is that the technology is only getting better with time. And this is going to make a deepfake even harder to spot moving forward. Point number two, people make this, and I think it's interesting. I think there's something to it. What about Photoshop and other graphic editing programs that have existed for 20 and 30 years? I mean, people have had the ability to greatly manipulate photos and show people doing things that obviously never happened for many decades now. You can doctor a photo real easy. And there have been some situations we've seen like that, some, scandalous encounters, but none of it has ever produced the same worry that exists right now with deepfakes. For some reason, hearing it and seeing it just has a lot more power than only seeing one still frame alone. So I don't know what that is. I'm not going to pretend like I do know, but I do want to point out this technology in still form has existed for a long time, and it hasn't really dominated our everyday life like a lot of people think deepfakes could. So I don't know why this is different. But again, it all goes back to responsibility, and this technology that's being produced right now, companies want to proceed with it because they want to be on the cutting edge. They want to benefit from this. There is such a responsibility of making this software available, but also how do you not put it in the wrong hands? All right, point number three, could deepfakes actually put some people out of work? And I guess the answer is yes. For example, what about using this artificial intelligence to, create the perfect television host? A TV host who can work 24/7 without a break, without a rest, without a sick day, without a vacation, without, getting paid. Of course, you'd have to pay for the technology at first, but it's a one-time investment. And then you could have this fake thing, this fake graphic that looks exactly like a person on television, and it looks and talks just like a real person. Now, clearly this artificial host would still have to be programmed by other humans, and it would require the work of inputting information into it. It's not going to just be a human being, but what's visually depicted on your screen could be completely artificial, and as long as nobody cares, it could be played that way. And I'm not just talking about TV hosts because, I take that personal, but how about actors? How about anybody who performs on camera here in 2020? In 5 and 10 years down the road, could you essentially be replaced by this deepfake technology? Maybe by 2040, I don't know. Point number 4 here is the criticism. Some people say, well, hey, deepfakes are fun. And it's fun to put somebody's face on a body doing something that you know that face would never have done. Sure, I can see how it's entertaining. And there is value to that. There is the ability to create harmless jokes. But there's also the very real ability to create hurtful depictions and to create dangerous scenarios. I mean, is it possible that a deepfake done so well and delivered to the wrong hands and passed on and shared irresponsibly, is it possible that a deepfake could start a riot? Could even start a war? I mean, these deepfakes could be so well targeted. Is it worth that fun that we all want to have with it? I'm not sure anymore. And point number 5 here, the biggest challenge moving forward with deepfakes is how to identify what's actually real. Not just identify it, but verify it. And I wish I had an immediate answer. I've thought about this. How do you confirm, yes, this is really me today giving a speech and this is exactly what I said? Versus the synthetic media, which is not my face, that's not my voice. I know it looks and sounds just like me, but that never actually happened. How can you verify what happened? And how can you completely discount what never happened? There's kind of that way of verification, the blue checks on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, but that's different. That's a different type of verification. It's the same thing we need, right, for media that's being shared around, content across social platforms. But if those social companies, if they can't get things verified or completely unverified, if they can't get this media, to fall into what's real and what's not, they're going to be part of spreading the problem. I mean, imagine a world leader of any country, including the United States, declaring attack on a video that everybody can watch and see, and instantly it gets shared. It looks like the president, it sounds like the president, clearly was not the president. What happens to that immediate panic and doubt and question and fear? It gets pretty real pretty fast. And then you're going to have to live that life of constantly wondering, okay, am I seeing this as real? Is this fake? I don't even know. You're confusing and clouding things so much that itself becomes a problem. And look, I don't think the technology, and like I said before, the companies working on deep fakes, none of this is slowing down anytime soon. So the only way to not fix, but get ahead of this problem, get ahead of this curve, is to start working on a way to verify what's real and what's a deep fake. I'm telling you, here in 2020, it's on our radar. But in 3 to 5 years, deep fakes are going to be the next big critical thing.